Hello everyone. Today we are going to start our new chapter, chapter number 14, grappling with gender issues. Grappling means dealing with gender issues. So I have made all the summary over here of whole of the chapter and different problems or issues with whom women, especially women, if we are talking about gender issues, the mostly women are the victim of this gender problem. So all we will discuss all these problems or all these factors. Firstly, gender. The concept of gender refers to the set of masculine and feminine characteristics. Actually, gender is a very important in biological, sociological, cultural and professional context and situations. Gender roles are the roles that a society gives to men and women according to their gender. Like a girl or a boy or a man and woman is not merely a biological phenomena. It is also a sociological reality. It is based on the roles that society defines or assigns to men and women. For example, the idea of being a girl or boy is installed in children from a very teenage, from a very early age. Hence, behavior generally gets developed in boys and girls as per their gender. They behave like according to the gender because of the habits, because of their mindset, which give them the thoughts of boys and girls, the differentiate between boys and girls, because this type of behavior is installed in them from the early age. In most of the societies, families are based on gender roles, which is primarily defined by the society. However, most societies value men and women differently. Since women give birth and nurture children, so their role in the family is they are center-oriented the family and home. Men become responsible for all the activities outside home, and they are considered as the breadwinner of a families. So these differences have given rise to stereotypes and resulting in clear differentiation of the social roles of men and women, which further contributed to the rise of gender inequality. So in this chapter, we will learn about gender stereotypes, that is generally accepted as image and behavior and role of a boy and a girl in the society. We will also learn about women's movement and the struggle for and their struggle for breaking stereotype and for gaining equality, and we will also see how change in attitude and outlook brought about a change in their lives, and they understand the importance of education in bringing about the changes transformation. So let's start with the growing up as girls and boys. So what does it mean to be a girl or a boy? Male or female? These are the biological terms used for the sex of an individual. It is the society in which we live that assigns what type of behavior is for boys and for girls. So what boys and girls can do or they cannot do. This is because of the fact that boys and girls are expected to play different roles when they grow up. And it is assumed that the different roles given to boys and girls in their childhood or in the teenage, that is for prepare them to take up the different future responsibilities which will come into their upcoming life. So based on this, different societies and cultures have different expectations from men and women, and every society doesn't treat boys and girls in the same way. So growing up as boys or girls therefore is a part of one's identity and an important aspect of our life society, one's life society. Next is women's work and equality. So men and women do not have the same social status and roles. Their roles are different, as women are expected to expected to be birth giver, and they have to nurture their children, they have to do all household works, so they have to look after all the things in the home. And the males or the husband have to do fulfill all activities or all responsibilities outside the home, means they have to earn money for fulfilling all the needs of the family. So the work done by men, so the work done by women is less valued than that of men. So it has seen very often women are not paid the same salary as men, even though they work for same hours or they work for the same institution. Household work done by women fails to get any notice and appreciation. We never give any appreciation or any value to the household work which women do for long hours. Though in reality, women have to devote more hours to do the household chores than men who mostly work outside the home. In many cases, even parents do not spend money on the education of girls because they think the girl get to marry after a particular age, and she has to perform household tasks in their in-laws house, so this is a wastage of money to spend on education of girl, as he has to do nothing with the education, he has to just do the household work which she can learn with the practice at their parents home. So this attitude of parents has negative bearing on upbringing of a girl. Therefore, they cannot achieve their ambitions. They cannot fulfill their aims. They cannot opt any career opportunities. Even in the professional world, the women, those who are in working conditions, there is a wage discrimination. The differentiate between the salaries, the pay which they get for their work. In most cases, women receive less salary for any work than men. In urban areas where men and women both have access to work and have access to higher and professional education, the condition of women is slightly better. There, women are educated, they are very professional, so they get good working conditions and get salaries, good salaries also. However, in urban areas, working women cannot give up their household duties. They have to bear double burden. They have to do household works, and they have to go for work in their office also. So they have to bear double burden. So in this regard, the government of India has made it compulsory for employers to pay equal salary to men and women to work for similar nature. If they are working in a similar working condition for same hours, they will get same salary. Gender related discrimination of any form should be discouraged in matters of appointing for a job and in terms and conditions of services in government jobs as well. If a person wants to apply for a government job, whether the man that is a girl or a boy, they will have same opportunities for a job, and the terms and conditions will apply on both. There is no differentiate between men and women in government jobs. So next is gender discrimination. We are going to start gender discrimination. We all know what is the meaning of gender and discrimination. Gender, the biological change between men and women, girl or boy, and which we can describe according to the sex. And discrimination means the differentiate between men and women. Gender discrimination refers to the practice of denying equality in rights of individuals on the basis of their gender. This practice has been going on for a long time, that both the genders take it for granted in most societies. But however, with the increasing number of women getting education, there is a slow change in this perception and attitude regarding gender discrimination. It is now clear that discrimination against women is just as an issue, the restricted with family, but is is practiced on the social level also. Discrimination against women follows from the inequality existing between men and women. So, who should take initiate to abolish it? So, we people should have to take initiate to ban this gender discrimination. So, this social evil actions have to be taken at individual level. So, if we want to abolish this, we want to finish this social evil, we should take actions. Every person has to take action regarding this. Families has to take action, and at social level societies have to stop it. And we must aware about the fundamental rights which are provided by the Indian Constitution to everyone, which ensures equality, the right of equality, and the right against exploitation is for the protection against any exploitation. So we must aware about these fundamental rights which our government has given to us, and we can use these fundamental rights. So, despite these constitutional laws, the fact remains that women are still discriminated. Although we know we are having these fundamental rights, but still in some places women are discriminated. So, the government, however, has responded to such situation through various laws. We have read earlier that women and girls in the family have to do household work, childcare work. So that's why government has started setting up Anganwadis or childcare centers in many rural and urban areas. This helps in enabling more girls to go to school. Many state governments have taken serious steps to improve girls' education, as education brings about in empowerment of women. It is made it compulsory for organizations where more than 30 female employees work to set up creches. If in any organization more than 30 females are working there, then that organization has to set up a crèche. Crèche is that place where women, those who are working in that organization, they are having child, they can keep their child on that place. This provision is to facilitate the women having children to do work outside homes and carry out their paternal responsibilities towards their children. Means they can these crèches will look after the basic needs of the children when the women are on their workplace. And the next is break stereotypes. Firstly, what is the meaning of stereotypes? Stereotype is a fixed image of a boy and girl which we have made in our mind according to their task from the beginning. Like women are expected to do household works and men are responsible for outside work, for outside activities, and they are the breadwinner of the family. This is a stereotype, the fixed image we have created for boys and girls. And the second one, for second example, we always say girls are emotional as compared to boys, but this is not true. Boys also have heart, they also feel hurt, and they also cry, they are also emotional. Not only all the girls cry, but boys also cry when they feel hurt. So this is stereotype. Now in this topic we are going to study about women's struggle against stereotype, how women struggle to break this stereotype. So types of women are believed to be able to do certain types of work, and men are thought to be fit for to do certain type of works. So this is the belief that women make better teachers, nurses, and stereotypes. On the other hand, men can make better defense personnel, scientists, and engineers. In many families, after a certain level of education, girls have to drop out from further higher education because their parents think that it is a wastage of money to spend on girls' child, as the girls are expected to become housemakers. They have to get married, and they have to do all the household works in their in-laws house. So they have to nurture their children and do these all things. So there is no need of education in their life. But now women themselves are struggling from a long time to break this type of stereotype. Even though gender discrimination exists in all parts of our life, women are now breaking away from these stereotypes and taking up careers which were earlier considered to be the domain of men. Like now women are becoming athlete, they are going into navy, in the armies, and they are becoming pilots. Earlier all these were the domain of the men, but now women are breaking the stereotype, and they are going to all of the all type of the works. They are doing all type of these works. And the next is role of education in women's development. Education is a very important part of everyone's life. It plays an important role in social and economic progress of a country. It brings about change in society and helps to mold our attitude and point of view towards various issues. Getting educated is the first step in the struggle of getting equal treatments in the society. So if we want equal treatment, equality in the society, so first step is we should all get education. Now more and more girls are getting education, and there are some special schemes which are provided by government to ensure that women and especially backward section of the society can get access to education. Education of women is important not just to help them to take jobs, but educated women play a critical role in the development of a nation also. Education helps in removing gender inequality and discrimination. It also helps women to get a better status in society. Even educated girls are health conscious, and they will not marry or bear children at a premature age. Means before the age that is prescribed by law, that is 21 years of age. Educated girls are less susceptible to exploitation. They will not become the victim of exploitation, and are hence they less prone to the risk of teenage pregnancies, HIV, AIDS, and dowry harassment, etc. These type of evils, they will not get victim. They will not become the victim of these social evils. Women who are better education can take better care of themselves and their families. So education enables women to lead a positive and healthy life and plays a significant role in building an educated and progressive society also. And the next is women's movement. The movements which women run, which women has started for their rights, for the equality and against the discrimination. Only education is not enable women to achieve equality and a better status in society. Women face several problems in different parts of life where their rights are compromised and they need legal help and protection. They are exploited, discriminated against, and they face sexual harassment and physical abuse as well. Women have struggled for long for the equality in the society. Although the Constitution of India makes the right to equality a fundamental right, women have been fighting against discrimination towards them. This forms one of the main agenda for women's movement. So the main motive is against the fight against discrimination. Women have struggled individually and collectively for their rights. Whether it was women like Pandita Ramabai, Rokia Sakwat Hossain, or Raj Shundri Devi, who struggled individually to educate themselves, or some women are there who form various small and big organizations at the local and the national levels. History has many such women who have been a part of these women's movement. At the time of independence, women took two major issues: political rights for women and reform of personal laws. Their participation in the freedom struggle broadened the platform for women to take part in other kinds of social movements. So here are the life stories of two women, namely Rash Sundri Devi and Rokia Sakhawat Hossain of 19th century India, who have struggled to get themselves educated. First is Rash Sundri Devi. Rash Sundri Devi was born in 1809, a Bengali woman who wrote the story of her life, Amar Jeevan. Amar Jeevan means my life. That was published in 1876. It is a detailed memoir that reveals or revolves around her day-to-day experiences as a mother and a housewife. She was obsessed with the desire to read. She stole and hid pages from a book and a sheet of paper from her son in the kitchen because she wanted to be educated. So she always took book and some pages of the from the book and sheets or paper so that she can try to read and write. Whenever she could snatch moments from household, she tried to teach herself. Whenever she get free time, she tried to teach herself. This is the first autobiography written in Bengal. It is rich in detail of the period when reformers were attempting to change the lives of women. It is commendable that Rash Sundri Devi was able to teach herself and write about her own struggles to master simple reading, which is not a difficult task for women these days. So this is about the struggle. So in her biography, she has written the struggle which she had faced towards her study. Next is Rokia Sakhawat Hossain. Rokia Sakhawat Hossain wrote a story, Sultana's Dream, in 1905 in English. Learning English language was not allowed for women at that time. Rokia learned to read and write English with the support of her elder brother. The story Sultana's Dream is about a woman called Sultana who reaches a place, Ladyland. In Ladyland, women had the freedom to study, work and creative inventions, and men had been sent into seclusion. Rokia Sakhawat Hossain was dreaming of women flying planes and cars even before girls were allowed to go to school. And she was dreaming about these things when the education was not meant for girls. Thus, education was instrumental in changing Rokia's own life. In 1910, she started a school for girls in Calcutta, which still continues to provide education to the girls. So, in 1910, she has started her own school in Calcutta, which gave education to girls, and that school is still working for the education of girls. So, and next is pre-independence and post-independence women movements. So, we are already talking about the movements. So, here now we will read about some movements from before the independence and after the independence, which women struggled for. The first phase of women's movement started in 19th century. Social reformers of this period were concerned with issues such as Parda system, Sati Pratha, child marriage, and plight of widows and education. According to them, upliftment of women was very important as they were the mothers of the future generation. So, women organizations of that time demanded political rights and reforms in personal laws as well. Women from all sections of society participated in the national movement, and their demand for important role in the governance of independence India. There are some women who participated in the national movement and post-independence movement like Sarojini Naidu, Rajkumari Amrit Kaur, Aruna Asaf Ali. These are the examples of the women who took participation in the national movements. After independence, a large number of women's groups have emerged to take up the cause of women in society. The strategies and tactics and the tricks used by women to promote their causes and struggles are active campaigning. They started raising awareness. They had started protesting and showing solidarity with each other so that they can gain more power for their campaign. Campaigns are a very important part of any movement. We all are aware of the campaigns led by Mahatma Gandhi during the national movement for freedom and how they helped India gain freedom from the colonial rule. Campaigns by women have also led to the passage of led to the passing of many new laws. For example, the formulation of guidelines in 1997 against the sexual harassment at the workplace and educational institutions by the Supreme Court. In 2006, a new law passed to give legal protection to women who face physical and mental violence, that is, domestic violence within their homes. Like women were beaten by their family members in their husband's house by their husband and the mother-in-law and father-in-law. So there was a law which was passed for the women's protection. Another method of women empowerment is raising awareness about rights and issues, laws and provisions for women through public meetings, street plays, poems and documentaries. So women have started these things so they can get aware, they can raise awareness regarding the rights which women are having, the issues which are rising day by day, and the laws and the provisions which are for women, so that all the women in the world can get this awareness and they can protect their rights. Protesting. It is very popular method to raise one's voice. If we want to raise our voice against any issue, so do protest against that particular issue is our main method. So whenever there is any law or policy against their interest, so whenever we see if any policy and law is there which is against people's choice, then most of the public do protest against that. For example, nowadays we can see a new ordinance is passed, a new bill is passed for against the farmers of our land, farmers of our state, and this is not good for the farmers. They are not getting their proper dues which they should gain. So their rights are exploited, and that if that law will be passed, for surely if that law will become that bill will become a law, it will be a great loss for the farmers. So they are against that bill and they are protesting in whole of the state, especially in Punjab. Most of the farmers, those who are in Punjab, they are against. They are doing rallies, meetings, protest, marches. These all things are going on so that they can uplift their voice. They can give their opinion. They can show government that they are against this law. So women protest against those policies through public rallies and demonstration. This is a powerful tool to draw public attention to injustice against women. Every year on 8th March, women all over the world observe the day as International Women's Day. Women also show solidarity with each other and get together to commemorate and renew their struggles. Women have been successfully using all these methods to gradually bring about changes in laws and policies to improve their status in society. They have raised their voice against dowry deaths, sexual harassment and physical abuse. They are actively participating in decision-making processes at the family, local as well as national levels. Earlier, women were not allowed. These all were the uh, task or the rights of men only. They can decide, they can take decisions for their family. But now women are also a part of family, and they are also participating in the decision making part, in the decision making process. This will lead to women becoming equal partners in the economic development of the country. There are various efforts being made in this direction by the government and the private institutions, cooperatives, as well as NGOs, even NGOs, non-governmental organization, government organization, private institution, they all are trying to uplift women's right, and they are all trying to provide women a positive and a good status in the society. And we are getting up all these things now. The status of women in our society is changed, different, it is totally different. Now women are taking part in all of the spheres of our life. They are becoming they are choosing their career according to their choice. If they want to become a pilot, they are going into that field. If they want to become engineer, doctor, nurses, if they want to go in navy or in army, they are going in every field, and they are doing their excellence in every field. Now we can see most of the women are going in sports like cricket, football, wrestling. Earlier, these sports were meant to be for the boys or the males only, but now females are also participating in these sports as well. So this is because of the struggle which the women have faced for a long time. So these all changes are the result of that struggle, and that is a positive thing. And if this will be continued, then the upcoming generation, the women and the girl of the upcoming generation, they will definitely get a good society where they will have equal status, and their appreciation and a proper recognition of their part.